onto color.
Yeah. So, Jay, the Germans have long been known, in fact, renowned for their engineering, especially their automotive engineering.
Cutting edge technologies.
Leave it to the Australians to add the frosting on the cake, so to speak,
and
right?
It truly is frosting.
This lady.
But what color do you like your frosting?
It's subjective, right? It could be dependent on the user or the mood or the crime in progress. We'll get to that in a minute. But
that is correct.
So, Stella Clark, Australian engineer, which I feel like could also double as the name of a light alcoholic beverage. I don't know.
Can I have a large Stella Clark, please?
Has figured out a way in partnership with BMW that has a car that can change colors for you at the touch of a button.
Pretty amazing, the technology that's gone into this. But what it is, though, is the technology has actually been right up under our noses for a long time. And it uses a technology called electrophoresis. Okay? So for those of you who do not know what electrophoresis is, it is a laboratory technique used to separate DNA, RNA, or protein molecules based on their size and electrical charge. Then a small electrical charge current is used to move molecules and be separated through a gel or whatever. So iPads, Kindles,
so it's magic.
E-readers. Yeah, it is. It's voodoo magic, man.
So
it's
now hold on a second here. Okay, so we'll get to the details of how this works in a minute. But can we just, for the sake of, I feel like this is going to revive Nicolas Cage's career. Okay.
Man.
So, here we have Bruckheimer doing his action movies, which, honestly, he's ruined so many of my favorites over the years that I can't. Okay, but I digress. This is potentially not just a Bruckheimer Cage movie, but also an in real life scenario where you're in a car chase.
Mm-hmm.
You're being chased by Johnny Law.
Yep.
They're chasing a white BMW. You go into a parking garage. You park that sucker, and they drive right past your red BMW.
Yeah, but they're not going to find me because I have a cloaking device.
Okay. Well, that's the other, right? Unless they try to park in your spot and you're cloaked, and then it's,
Right. Boom. Boom, bang. Yeah. And then up pops a red car. But they were chasing a white one.
A white car, right? Yeah. Or a helicopter chase if you want to go full on, like I remember Grand Theft Auto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Grand Theft Auto. You've heard of Grand Theft Auto, surely.
Right.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Who hasn't?
It's been around for decades.
I've played it. Yeah.
Okay.
A few times. Yeah.
So there were levels of if you smacked a woman of the night, right?
Right.
That was going to bring a certain level of response from the authorities.
Right.
If you got into a car chase situation, I mean, at some point, Jay, it got bad enough if you did enough ill that the helicopter showed up, right?
Right.
And that was pretty much you're not getting away. Well, no, think about this, okay? You bring in full-on police helicopter search. You drive through a tunnel. They're chasing a white BMW. Out the other side of the tunnel comes a purple BMW. Can't possibly be the same car, right?
Yeah, I have to think that this technology is going to meet its enemy, and that would be law enforcement. Or under certain circumstances, could this be used? It'll be a lot of red tape. I don't know, maybe it's white tape that for them to go through to get this thing, into a production style. I think it'll be interesting to see what local law or just federal law has to say about this type of technology for this.
Just before we got into this segment on the podcast, by the way, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, we have one of those too. It's over on our website at partscounterguru.com. Click on the podcast links tab near the top. We said, it's only going to it's a matter of time, and one person is going to ruin it for everybody, just like the guy that landed his drone on the White House lawn that ruined it for me. Right. I mean, it's coming, man. It is coming.
So it was unveiled at the CES show in Las Vegas.
All right.
It's the BMW iX. And it's featuring what they call their e-ink, and like I had said initially, it uses the electrophoretic technology to change the car from white to black in a similar way to liquid crystal displays, as I had already mentioned, like in your Kindle or your tablet or whatever. Your e-readers basically is what the technology is. Now, it's a wrap, like a paper. It's a thin wrap.
Yeah.
It's not an actual physical paint, but it does use a low current, an extremely low current, and it only uses the current to change the color. It doesn't have to continuously add current to it for it to sustain the color. So this is a pretty cool, and if you watch the interview with Stella, it's an extremely low cost technology that's been out there already. They're not reinventing the wheel. They're using the technology in another application, and they thought, well, why not? Let's try it on a car. And it was the talk of the show. And she was asked several times about how many different types of colors, what's the possibilities. And she described it. Right now, this one is just black and white. You can order with 2 different colors, your favorite colors, but there are multiple applications where they use different type color schemes, and it's very similar to like a printer cartridge. So you got your black and white, and then you got your blue, what is it, fuchsia, and whatever those,
it's right,
to make all these
cyan,
different colors.
Magenta. It's either RGB, CMYK. Typically, you mix, depending on what your color palette is. You mix versions of either 3 colors: RGB, red, green, blue. Right. Or 4 colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, and cayenne. I said anyway.
Cayenne.
No, that was the first one.
Oh,
cyan, magenta, yellow, black. Anyway,
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's a car show, everybody.
Right. But she says that
works very them, and you get that.
And you get that. So she says, basically, I mean, it's endless on the colors choices that you can make. That technology is further down the road. Right now, they're just doing the 2. You could go from, like, say, red to yellow or whatever.
Which is good enough in a car chase, as I always like to say.
I have another use for this thing, which was brought to my attention. Okay. So I got to give cred where cred is due, because we were having this conversation. Daniel, who is the developer of our logo, thank you very much, sir, for that. And if you like our logo, go to partscounterguru.com. And you can see that icon, or it's on the screen here probably somewhere. Okay. Oh, look, it's on that hat that Keith has. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. Imagine that logo, right? Anyway, we were having this discussion. He says, can you imagine if this technology was used in, say, interior paint, like a wallpaper, to where you never, like if you wanted to change your room color, what about exterior colors? It's a wrap. Wow. Wouldn't that be cool? So you could have, one day your house could be white on the outside, or maybe the next day it's some sort of like, brown or something, or a blue or a light blue or whatever. Same way on the interior. Your mood changes. You decide you want to buy a new set of furniture. I mean, it just seems endless to me. What about you? You said you got an idea on this stuff.
So, by the way, the K in CMYK stands for key.
Okay.
Right. Gotcha. Just to close the loop on that. So last week on this program, we did the little thing about car theft and air tags, and you can watch that video. It's not actually, by the time this is out, that one will be out. It's about to be uploaded. But people were putting Apple air tags in cars and stealing cars, and I said, Jay, let's bring back Viper. You remember this?
I do.
Okay. And when the theory was we put a capacitor in the car, right?
Right.
Okay. This BMW color changing technology, their e-ink, uses low voltage, correct?
Mm-hmm. correct?
Ooh, multiple applications for the same components, right?
Ooh.
So we put BMW with some security folks at Viper, or they do it on their own or whatever. But you also implement basically an electromagnetic shield on the car so that if people get a little too up close and personal with your BMW, you give them a little zappy zap.
Right?
Right?
Like a bug zapper, man. Yeah. I want this bug zapper, though. I want it to actually, when the bug gets zapped in the bug zapper, I want to see that blue spark.
Yeah.
That lets you know you were there.
It's like fireworks, man.
Yeah. So anyway, wow, that's some cool technology, don't you think?
I do.
Would you get into it? I would. I'd get into it. I'd use it.
Yeah.